Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of July 22nd, 2023. Thank you for being a community member. Here's hour one.
All right, Barbie's everywhere right now. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a movie coming out. That's right. And the studio's budget just must be off the charts as far as marketing, because you can't see a post online that doesn't have anything to do with Barbie. But there's another place where you can bring Barbie and her dream house. Are you ready? Your Google Meet videos. All you have to do is say, apply those visual effects button, and then you can have Barbie's dream house all right behind you. Isn't that amazing? And what do you call a line of people who are waiting to see the Barbie movie? What do you call that line of people? Are you ready? A barbecue. That's right. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this. It's America's largest show about all things digital, your most trusted source. It's called The Kim Komando Show because, after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And you can catch my award-winning show on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And, of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. You just have to search for my last name, Komando. Funny how that works. And you can also find us streaming as a podcast and as a webcast commercial free, all 3 hours, over at komando.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Komando Community, and you want to go ahead and click that button to sign up. You get a free 30-day trial, and after that, it's just a few bucks a month. And we have all these great discounts for teachers and military and veterans and service personnel. And again, you get 30 days free. So go ahead and try it up now over inside the Komando community. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts, because every single thing is a tech thing nowadays. And if you're a brand new listener to the show, we're so glad that you're here. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio. I'm talking about 375,000 U.S. servicemen and women in 175 different countries that get the Kim Komando Show. Just love that. Hey, listen, I know you have a few questions about something digital in your life I can lend a hand to, and that's why I'm here. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too dang shy to come on a big-time radio show and podcast, I totally get that. All you have to do is just drop me your question over at the website, komando.com, of course, upper right-hand corner, a link that says Email Kim. All right, every single day I go to at least 30 different websites, and here are 5 things that you need to know that are happening right now with tech. And let's talk about how you get to work. Do you take the same route every single day? Well, let's go to Scarsdale, New York, where there's a guy by the name of David Zaras. And every day he cruised down the road to work in a gray Chevy. He never missed a stop sign. He kept within the speed limit. But the cops in Westchester County, David's daily drive was seeming a little odd. See, they're using an AI tool there to flag potential drug routes. And they pulled him over. And what do you know? Well, inside that car, they discovered 112 grams of crack cocaine, a semi-automatic pistol, and 34 grand in cash. And turns out that David is a big-time drug dealer. So how did they get him? This comes from Forbes. The police use an automatic license plate recognition tool. And they want to check the plates for any known crimes, of course. But they also use it to track the driving patterns. And they have 480 cameras there. And they tracked all this for 2 years straight. They scanned over 16 million license plates every single week. So David's lawyer argues that the use of this AI tool, is unlawful search and seizure. And because of that, he wants the case thrown out of court, and he wants David to be set free. So what do you think about that? I mean, AI tools, license plate readers, they catch a drug dealer, let me know on Twitter. That's Twitter at Kim Komando. All right, moving on to number 2, is there an EV in your future? The more we learn about the massive push where everybody in government wants to electrify all of our cars and trucks in 7 short years, we have to really think about the utilities and the technology. See, President Biden has mandated that by the year 2030, half of all vehicles sold in the United States has to be EVs, whether you want them or not. Now, California has gone even further, banning all gasoline vehicles by the year 2030. But as it is, California is having a really tough time just generating electricity for its residents. And meanwhile, in Texas, oil-rich Texas, they're kind of in the same boat. So without question, here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to build more electricity generating plants, which is going to, raise the price of electricity for just about everyone. So the bottom line is that moving to EVs is not necessarily this quick fix that everybody says that it should be. All right, moving on to number 3, your phone could be damaging your marriage. That's right. There's a new word for those folks who are constantly checking their phones. You know what's called? It's called phubbing or phone snubbing. And so just an example, love this. You're just in the middle of a conversation with your husband or wife, and then he's like, oh, wait a minute, I just have to check the results of the game. And you're like, excuse me, over here, I was the one that was talking to you. It seems harmless, but a new study out this past week found that the more that you check your phone, the more your spouse feels conflict and low intimacy. And it's the same across all relationships, really. So everyone checks their phone, and you can tolerate it maybe from your boss, maybe from your friends, but not from your family and definitely not from your significant other or spouse. So if things are a little rough at home, what you want to do is just put your phone away and let's see what happens. All right, moving on to number 4. Wow, this is a horrific scam I need to warn you guys and gals about. Because let's say there's an obituary to write, a funeral plans, your loved one has passed away. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a scam phone call that pretends to be from the funeral home. And they're going to tell you, you know what, here's the deal. The cost of the funeral has gone up exponentially. And if you don't give us money right now, we won't be able to bury your loved one. We just need more money. And then you're going to sit there and go, what the heck is going on with this? What's happening? And so you may be tempted to give them more money. So what you want to do is you want to hang up with the funeral home. That's what you do. You want to hang up. Do not hit redial. You want to call them back and say, hey, what's going on? So the scammers are actually on social media. They're on websites scanning obituaries and funeral notifications. And so just keep this in mind that if you ever get a phone call like this, it's just a big time scam. And you want to go ahead and warn your family members and friends about this as well. And finally, number 5, let's go to Colorado for this story. That's where Joshua Bowman skateboards. And one day while out riding on his board, he suffered a really bad accident. He had a sprain and he has a small fracture in his leg. It really hurt. So he heads off to the hospital. He gets checked into the room. But as he's sitting there, he looks to the right. He notices something odd. What is going on? It's his doctor on a computer watching a YouTube video about how to do the procedure. Okay. And also how to wrap a leg with gauze after the surgery. So Joshua recorded a video of it. He posted over to TikTok. He said the surgery went well and everything's okay. But I'm just relieved that it wasn't another body part. Could you imagine, a neurosurgeon going onto YouTube saying, oh, how do I do this? How do I wrap this head? Oh, that'd be pretty frightening. And always remember this, boys and girls. You know what they call a doctor who graduates last in his medical school? What do they call a doctor who graduates last in medical school? Are you ready? They call him doctor. That's right. All right, coming up in this jam-packed hour, I have some genius voice commands that's going to change your life, whether you're using an iPhone or Android. And are printers storing your secrets? The answer may surprise you. And coming up, I have a chat with a woman you're definitely not going to want to miss in just a few seconds. And of course, you always have more of me. Yes, I'm good. Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, I love getting your questions. And I know that you love sending them to me on every single social media platform. And that drives me nuts because I can't track them all. I can't keep organized with everything. So what I'd like you to do is just go one place. That's Komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says email Kim. And I do read every single note that you send me, every single one. And I know, like, right now, there's some guys going to go, oh, I'm going to drop you a note, Kim Komando. And I'm going to say, you don't read every single one because you need to reply to this one. Okay. You know what? I'm too busy for those fun and games. I am. Okay. Komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says email Kim. Okay, imagine this. You're just doing your thing in the bathroom when out of nowhere you start hearing this weird noise. It's a buzzing noise. And then you look out the window and wow, what do you see? It's a drone up close and personal looking right at you in your bathroom. That's exactly what happened to Stephanie Marolo from Cranston, Rhode Island. Now, this invasion of privacy just doesn't end there for her. She has a young daughter and now she has to live next door to the guy who did this to her. Okay, Stephanie's here right now with us to share a story. Take us back to that day. Wow, what a crazy, frightening experience.
It was very, very unsettling experience. It's one of those instances, like I've been saying, it's too close to home. It was literally in my backyard. I work nights, a few nights of the week, and I had just gotten home from work. I was getting ready to take a shower. I'd like to add that this was 11 o'clock at night. I am the last house on a dead end. My yard is completely fenced in, and my bathroom window faces 9-foot hedges. There is no way that anybody can see in my house, in my yard, unless they're really, trying to go out of their way to see something. So I was getting ready to take a shower that Wednesday night. My window in my office was open.
Okay.
I flipped the light on to go into the bathroom to get ready to take a shower. Something stopped me. I still had the bathroom light on, but I went into the office to go take care of something. My office window was open, like with the screen, so
Sure.
I could hear noises outside. It was a constant buzzing, and it was a buzzing that I wasn't familiar with, so I wanted to investigate it. I have a pool, so I thought maybe it was something with my filter. Maybe my pool was breaking.
Sure.
I immediately went outside to go see what the noise was. And as soon as I opened up my back door to go into the yard, to my left, I just saw a white drone hovering over my bathroom window. And it wasn't flying around, Kim.
Just sitting
It
there?
was floating.
Just
It was
sitting
just sitting there. And I feel like that's why the buzzing was so loud, probably from the propellers of the wings, just
Yes,
having it
exactly.
just hovering over my window. So I start yelling. Sure, the person who was flying it heard me because
Yes.
then they tried to fly it out of my yard over the 9-foot hedges that I was talking about.
Okay.
But it hit the hedges and then it hit the ground. Then once it hit the ground, it was in my possession. And once I had it in my hand, the first thing I could think about was to deactivate it. So I dumped it in my pool.
That was, you know what? That was smart. That was really smart of you to do that. Yes. Quick thinking.
Quick thinking, because I didn't want it, I didn't want it to fly away.
Right.
Now at the time, in my mind, I thought maybe it was like just some kid messing around.
Sure.
I brought it in my house. I took it apart. And then I started looking up what the drone was, how expensive it was.
Mhm.
It was like $1,000 camera. It wasn't something that a child or a teenager owned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
That's when I started getting nervous.
Yeah, it's a
That's when
sophisticated
I started
drone.
getting
Yeah.
nervous. I called the police. I had something expensive in my possession. I didn't want it to come back on me that I stole it, so I tried to do the right thing and call the cops.
Okay.
Once I told the cops what had happened, they said they would look into it. A couple days passed by, and I wasn't getting any answers. No one was getting back to me, and it was starting to eat at me because I felt violated, and I just didn't know who was watching me and why. So I couldn't wait for the cops anymore. They had all the evidence. I took it upon myself, and I reached out to DJI, and I just sent a simple message to the customer service chat. Said, hey, what's the email address that's linked with this serial number?
Oh, whoa.
I sent them a picture of the serial number. They didn't ask any questions. They gave me the email address.
Wow.
So from then, I said, okay, Chris J. so-and-so at gmail.com. Still wasn't ringing a bell.
Okay.
So I have a Gmail email address. I pretended to start to compose a Gmail email. And when I did that, a picture popped up, like his picture that's associated with his email.
Yes.
Still couldn't see it. It was all pixelated and blurry.
Okay.
So I had some people reverse
image
search the image, depixelize it. We had a nice clear picture of him. I still don't know who it is. I have no idea who this guy is. So then from there, I did a little cross researching. I found his Twitter that linked to the email address and the picture. And then with his email address, I found his phone number through the two-step authentication when you try to log into a Gmail account.
Wow.
So with that, I started getting more information. I started getting more pieces. And then I ended up searching on the web.
Okay.
And everything came back to Christopher Jones. Who's Christopher Jones?
Right.
And then I still didn't know who it was. And I'm like, that's right behind me. I'm like, oh my God, that's so-and-so's son. Like, I'm friendly with his elderly mother.
Right.
I'm like, who is this guy?
Okay, I always hate when I have to do this. I really do, because our conversation's going so well. And this whole story, Stephanie, is just unbelievable. You must have been beside yourself when all this was coming down. But dang, let me tell you, you really know how to hunt somebody down online. But here's the deal. This is the part I hate. We need to take a quick commercial break to pay some of the bills that we have over here. But when we pick up our conversation, Stephanie, I really want to know what you did next. Okay. And really, what happened when you got the police involved? And how are you really dealing with the fact that a sex offender had a drone, okay, for who knows how long, taking sneaky pics of you and your daughter while you were in the bathroom, maybe in your yard, or who knows where else? I mean, gosh, could you just imagine just hearing that and then finding out everything that she just found out? Ugh. Tell you. So you don't want to miss that. That's coming right up after, like I said, our short commercial break. And then we have more tips, tricks, and secrets you don't want to miss. And of course, more of my corny jokes here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, I have some genius voice commands that you're going to want to use time and time again if you knew about them. And that's why I'm here. And then later on, how your printer could be storing your secrets. Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that. Now, if you're just joining us, you really need to get the podcast for this hour and listen to the first part of my chat with Stephanie Marella from Cranston, Rhode Island. Now, she's a mom with a little daughter, 3 years old, who is getting ready for work late one night. She works overnights. And she heard a buzzing sound that turned out to be a drone. Okay, so she's done the exhaustive homework. I'm talking about searching online, and she was so smart at it. And she figured out who the guy is. Okay, so Stephanie, tell us all what happened next.
I found out that he was a registered sex offender. And I also found out that he had a few child molestation charges that go back from 1999. And it was first and second degree child molestation. So if he had never flown that drone in my window, I would have never found out any of this about him. Now, the most disturbing part is my neighborhood, it's like 3 generations in the neighborhood. I bought my parents' house. I've lived there for 30 years. All of my neighbors surrounding me, either their parents owned it or their grandparents owned it. What my point is, no one in the neighborhood had any idea about this man, what he's done. He never had to register after 2015. And I was told that due to the level of his charges, that the community didn't have to be notified. And that didn't sit well with me.
Right. Especially because you have a young daughter, right?
And honestly, that's all that kept going through my mind, Kim. Once I saw those child molestation charges, all I can think about was my daughter. All the times I've had her in the pool, had her friends over, how we're, changing their bathing suits in the backyard, how I'm giving her a bath in the middle of the night, and maybe the windows cracked open. So you know what I mean? So that's when it just started. It was eating me alive that This guy could have potentially been peeping at my daughter.
Right.
Besides just me.
So what was he charged with anything?
So once I found out all of that information, I called the cops again that Thursday night and
said, I did your work for you. Here it is.
Basically, yep, here you go on a silver platter. They still wouldn't arrest him. They would not arrest him that Thursday night. My father confronted him. No violence or anything like that.
Okay.
My father just confronted him like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with all of this footage? Why are you doing this? There's something wrong with you. And he just kept saying, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well.
So that caused him to call out of his job the next day because he thought he was going to jail. Because obviously he knew there was something bad on that video camera.
Mm-hmm.
And let me add that we didn't look at the footage. We just handed it right over to the cops. We never
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you that, Stephanie, if you actually looked to see what was on there.
Nope. I was trying to just, give it to the cops, let them investigate it, do the right thing. So going back to that Friday, he had called out of work because he was under the impression that he was going to go to jail because he was obviously guilty. The cops showed up at his house that Friday, not because of me, but because his boss at his job called the police to do a wellness check on him because they thought he was going to commit suicide.
Okay.
So the police went to his house to do a wellness check on him, and he just basically admitted everything. Said, I thought you were coming here to pick me up because of this, and that. Basically just incriminated himself. And then they ended up arresting him. And I think he was out of jail before my daughter's dance recital was done that evening. He was back home the next day. I had to pay hundreds of dollars out of my own pocket to file a restraining order. He didn't even have to get out on bail. Like, he didn't have to pay to get out on bail. And he just got hit with a no trespassing order. He can't trespass on my property.
Okay.
And he is still living behind me, and he's not due back in court until October.
Wow. That is a crazy story.
Yep.
I mean, makes you want to move, right?
I want him to move.
Yeah.
Because I'm on it, like, the way I see it, he violated the whole neighborhood. He's not doing right by his neighbors. He's being very sneaky. He's being very creepy. God only knows what else he's done. The more I talk to my neighbors, like, remember I was saying that, all the houses in my neighborhood go back like 3 generations.
Right.
When I talk to the elderly people in my neighborhood, I found out that he's been spoken to multiple times in the past from men, from creeping on their wives in the windows when he was younger. So he clearly didn't learn his lesson.
Wow. So until October, you're sitting there, or until he decides to move, or until they decide to put the house up for sale. And wow. It's good that you have the whole neighborhood now behind you.
That they've told me that, I have more support than I think.
And they're going to be on the lookout. They will.
Definitely.
And they're going to be looking to see this guy and to see what he's doing, to watch him. And that may be enough for him to just say, I got to get the heck out of here.
I'm hoping so.
Well, you know what? I'm proud of you for everything that you've done. I'm astounded about how you were able to track this person down. And I would, from a mom to a mom, okay, you're not a bad mom. Okay, I just want to tell you that. I mean,
thank you.
Because I'm sure you're sitting there saying, what more could I have done? What else could I have done? And maybe I shouldn't have left her alone in the tub, or change her bathing suit because she was wet and I didn't want her to get the floor wet in the kitchen. And it's not that big of a deal. Okay.
And even like my daughter's 3, last year when we were potty training her, she was in the backyard in her diaper, just running around.
Right.
Like I said, we're the last house on a dead end surrounded by bushes.
So you did everything right. I mean,
thank you, Kim. I appreciate that.
Because you have the shrubs. You're at the end of the street. You never would have thought something horrendous like this would ever happen. Okay.
Never.
And now the mama bear's out. Okay. So you keep that mama bear right there.
What I'd like to add too, Kim, and like you said, the mama bear's coming out. Every single house that surrounds this man's house in my neighborhood, they're all children, little girls at that. And on top of that, my cul-de-sac is directly across the street from a middle school. So he shouldn't even be over there. Because if he's doing that to me, imagine what he's doing maybe when they're outside running the track for gym.
Or it was pretty brazen, Stephanie, for him to go over the 9-foot hedge and to bring that drone right there. And
Yes.
obviously, he knew what he was doing wrong because he tried to get that thing the hell out of there before he got
Exactly.
caught. But so keep us posted, okay? Let us know what happens.
Will do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here, Stephanie. Appreciate
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I want to tell you, there are ways to search for sex offenders in your area. But unlike in Stephanie's case, the offender didn't need to register, but maybe you'll find out who is registered in your area. So first of all, there's the National Sex Offender public website. Okay, I'm not going to give you the address because it's one of those letters that you're going to you're going to put them down incorrectly, and then suddenly you're going to end up at some porno site. But again, it's the National Sex Offender public website. That's where you can search for sex offenders by name or location. Now, many states also have their own online sex offender registry, so you can just search for your state and then sex offender registry. The same thing with county and local law enforcement. There are also these third-party websites. Family Watchdog is actually terrific. Again, that's Family Watchdog. So, if you haven't done this ever, if you haven't done it for a long time, this is something that you want to pass along to your family members and friends, and you should do it as well. Just take a look and see who is exactly in your neighborhood, because I did it. Wow, it's pretty frightening. It really is. So if you haven't done that for a while, you might want to check it out. All right, this week we're going to be talking about genius voice commands that will change your life. Yes, I assure you. Because maybe you're still sitting there fumbling with the keypad on your phone and trying to do it with one thumb or maybe two thumbs, and you're like, I've got big thumbs, I've got little thumbs, I don't know what I'm doing, or it's just a complete time waster. So that's when you want to start using your voice with your device, because I'll tell you, it really is a time saver. Like, let's say, for example, you want to turn on the flashlight. Instead of going to your phone and then finding the flashlight icon and then tapping that, or the app, which you don't need, by the way, is that you can just say the wake word, which I'm not going to do on this show or podcast because then everybody's devices will wake up, is you just want to say, turn on the flashlight. And when you're done, you say, wake word, turn off the flashlight. That's pretty amazing. Now, you can also say, show me photos. So let's say you're sitting there with your family members and friends and you're having a cocktail and somebody says, hey, show me some pictures last year of you guys on the beach. And you're like, oh, okay, hold on, let me find them. That is so old school. All you have to do is say your wake word and then say, show me pictures of Elle on the beach in December of 2022, or pictures of your dog, or whatever it is. It's really kind of amazing. And then you can get super fancy and you can say, show me photos of Ella in February in Rome at the Vatican. And so see how you can just keep going on and on, because right now the photo recognition is pretty phenomenal. Okay, next up, remind me of. Yes, so if you need to get milk, or you need to take the dog, or whatever it may be, you can always say, remind me of things. How long until? That's when the kids say, how long until I turn 16? How long until Christmas? Whatever it is, you can have your phone do the work for you. You can also search your app. So you can say, hey, wake word, get me a ride through Uber, and it'll open it up. Same thing with Google. You can say, play Frank Sinatra on Spotify, whatever it may be. You can add things to your calendar. See, this is what I'm talking about, is that you have all these great commands. So next time you start sitting there and you're fumbling with your phone, I want you to use your noggin and say, hey, Kim told me to use my voice. And you can use your outside voice if you want to. Now, in case you want to read all these and get the exact steps on to do it, just head over to komando.com. There's a big button on the top that says Show Pics, and that's where you follow. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls, as well as our printers storing your secrets. And what are they doing with things that you're printing here on the Kim Komando Show? All right, Glenn in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I am enjoying vacation down in Amelia Island for the week, so
nice.
Calling you from vacation.
Nice. I must really rate up there then, huh?
Absolutely, yes.
So how can I help you?
So my problem is we have a small remote team, and we use PDF software to collaborate. So we're using it to create and edit and review, but we'd like to come up with a way that we can use a PDF software that's online, and we can collaborate in the software at the same time.
Well, here's my problem. Okay. PDFs are not generally collaborative. What type of documents are they?
So they tend to be like financial reports or some sort of report with it'll have just general paragraphs in it and also tables.
Okay. And there's no way that you can put this in like a Google Sheet?
No, because we need to check formatting and things like that. So we need to have kind of a final product that we're looking at and reviewing.
Okay. The reason why I bring this up is because, general terms, generally speaking, is that when you're looking to collaborate, which I do all day long with my entire team, is that you do that inside of a tool that's made for collaboration, like Google Docs or Microsoft Word. And then when you get done with it, then you save it out as a PDF so that nobody else can change it. And you can put different restrictions on it. Now, that said, you can try to use Canva. And I don't know if you've tried to use that. That's Canva.
Good idea. Yeah, we have played around with that for more proposals and things, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, Canva, it does allow for collaboration, but it's the pro version. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the 100% solution, but you can try, Adobe, of course, the makers of of PDF. If you haven't tried that already, you might want to try that. But, Canva seems to be doing things that other sites and other programs kind of have left by the wayside. It's kind of like if you don't innovate, you evaporate. Right. And that's where I see Canva going. I mean, not only can you make all your social media posts and logos and, Facebook and whatever it is that you want to create artistically, is that they seem to be coming in with these other tools. So try that. Again, it's canva.com, and it's their PDF editor. And again, you're going to have to pay for that pro version in order to use it. But if that doesn't work, then you might want to take a look, as I mentioned, at a real collaborative solution like Google Docs or Microsoft Online. And thanks for your call today, Glenn. And go have a drink with an umbrella. You're on vacation. When we talk about real-time collaboration, if you've never tried this with your team, it is a real time and money saver as well as a productivity enhancer. Like, for example, you can work on documents in real time. You can access these documents anywhere, anytime. You also have version control, and you can see history so you know who changed what. And then it also integrates with communication tools. So if you're using Google Workspace, it also works with Google Mail and Google Chat and Docs and everything else associated with Google. So if you're sitting there trying to still deal with Word docs, forget it on your own and emailing them. No. Collaboration is key. All right, still to come, a printer secret and your privacy you need to know here on The Kim Komando Show. All right, we all print lots of sensitive stuff. I'm talking about job offers, legal documents, tax papers. But what's between you and your printer? And for example, let's start with Canon. Their privacy policy says that they can collect all sorts of stuff from you, files, images, descriptions, even metadata. And they don't come clean whether or not they share the content of all the documents that you print. Now, what if you are using printing services and talking like places like FedEx? Well, FedEx says that in their privacy policy, they can collect user uploaded information. Okay, that seems to me to think like that's everything that you're printing while you're there at FedEx. Now, what if you print at Staples? Well, be aware that they can keep and store personal data, including copy and print materials. So again, that's everything that you're printing at Staples. So you just want to keep that in mind, that if you're going to be printing anything super confidential or sensitive, don't be using those services. Hey, do me a solid and tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show, because knowledge is power, and you can find me at Komando.com. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen, their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HomeTitleLock.com/Kim. That's HomeTitleLock.com/Kim.
This episode is brought to you by Tic Tac. Your boss is going off at you for missing a deadline, and you swear the clock just moved backwards. Suddenly, you remember the pack of Tic Tacs on your desk. Now you're riding horseback on the beach, the smell of citrus in the air. And what's this? Your boss is sitting behind you, breathing heavenly fresh mint? Refresh your mouth and mind and share your good vibes with Tic Tac.
Thank you for listening. Here is hour 2.
Let's kick things off with something super interesting. And I bet your kids are watching Ski Biddy Toilet. Yes, I said Ski Biddy Toilet. It's the rage among kids, say 10 years old, on YouTube. Now, here's the deal. It is potty humor. You have this army of singing heads that pop out of toilets to take over the world. Okay, I'm not sure I get it. They're very unattractive. And these toilet-headed people, they fight other people built out of hardware. There's explosions. There's no dialogue at all. It's super scary. I don't know if it makes sense. I can't even give you the name of the YouTube channel because it has a little spicy word in it. But the channel has 20 million subscribers, and these clips have been viewed 2.2 billion times. Okay. So if you've got kids in that age group and you're wondering what they're doing on their phone or their device, you might want to say, hey, are you guys watching Ski Biddy? And then they're going to look at you like, how did you know about that? How did you know? That's right. But let me tell you, toilet jokes aren't my favorite kind of humor, but they are a solid number 2. Oh, yeah. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's called The Kim Komando Show because I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. I'm so thrilled that you're here. And if you're a brand new listener to the show or podcast, hey, welcome. And if you're a regular listener, so glad to see your smiling face again. And you've joined the right place because every single thing is now a tech thing, and you can find the show on over 420 top stations across the United States, and we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And then you can also find us as a podcast, as a webcast, commercial-free, over at Komando.com. What you want to do is just hit that yellow button that says the Komando Community. And a special shout-out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. Hello, all you guys and gals. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you need immediate tech support to fix your Wi-Fi, your printer, set up a brand new device, whatever it may be, okay, what you want to do is use GetKimsHelp.com. You want to head over to GetKimsHelp.com. It's $14.99 a month. You can buy it just by the month. And guess what? You can actually use that support service as many times as you want during that month for that $14.99. Once again, that address is GetKimsHelp.com. Every single day, I go to at least 30 different websites to make sure that I'm up to date on all things digital, which means that you're up to date as well. And here are 5 things that you need to know that's happening in tech right now. And we're going to start with fembots. Yeah, make no mistake, a real honest-to-goodness relationship just takes a ton of work. You have communication. You have good times. Of course, you have bad times. And that's what happens when you're human. But what if I told you that you could take all those relationship challenges away and have the perfect partner? That is, perfect person. Well, not really person, but it's beautiful, it's sexy, it's charming, it's understanding. It's an AI sex bot. A former senior executive at Google, a guy by the name of Mo Gawat, he says it's the future of relationships and intimacy. He says that not only will AI sex robots bring in a redesign of love and relationships, but you're actually going to believe that your sex robot is real. Mo says this: it's all about signals in your brain that you enjoy companionship and sexuality. And if you really want to take the magic out of it, it can be simulated. Wow. You know what, Mo? Here's the deal. We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. But if there's one surefire way where AI can wipe out humans, it's in their pants. All right, number 2, the Twitter killer. Not so much. Over 1 million folks signed up for Threads. It's the fastest growing app ever. I signed up. I don't even know why I did. I don't know what it's doing. It's really just like Twitter. But the app dropped from 49 million active daily users this past week to just 23 million. Yes. The first reviews are not so good. Longtime Twitter users are complaining about bugs and basic features. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles. And now it has, guess what, scams and robots. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of folks don't like Elon Musk and all his antics. But let me tell you, this Threads is just not going to make it. I think that Zuck just needs to go back to his metaverse and just live there alone. Number 3 on our list, poor customer service. One tech company is feeling a little guilty about it. I'm talking about Apple and Goldman Sachs. And they're saying that they're going to be giving those of you who have an Apple savings account with Goldman Sachs a $100 credit. And why? Because they say that our customer service was just not so good. We want to do better. Now, think about that. You're just going to get $100. They must be making some money at Goldman Sachs and Apple, don't you think, to give everybody $100? You don't have to do anything. By the way, it's just going to drop right into your account. Number 4, talk to the hand. I'm talking about the Amazon Palm payment technology systems. We talked about it here before. Like, for example, you can use your Palm to buy beer at the Colorado Rockies Stadium, and the Palm scan will actually know if you're 21 years. You can buy soup at Panera, again, just with the palm of your hand. Now, Whole Foods, all 500 stores by the end of this year, you're going to be able to use your Palm ID. It's stored in the cloud, and so is all of your personal banking information, your facial IDs, and you have to hand all of that over to Amazon to connect that with your Palm scan. And what if that gets hacked? That's my big concern. That is, I know they say it's all encrypted, but, I did try the Palm technology at Whole Foods not too long ago because I just wanted to see how it worked. And it is very convenient. You just put your little hand over and then you're just out the door. You don't even have to pick out your phone to tap anymore. But afterwards, I went into my Amazon account and I deleted my palm print. I don't know, it just kind of felt a little weird to me. And finally, this, coming in at number 5. It's a super popular TikToker. A gal that goes by the name of Pinky Doll. That's her name, Pinky Doll. And she streams things, 6 or 7 hours a day. And I'm not going to tell you more about her quite yet. I want you to listen to what Pinky Doll says on TikTok. Here, right now.
Balloon. Grab, 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 grab. Coconut, so good. Oh, gang, gang. Gang, gang.
Okay.
Ice cream, so good.
Okay, this is what she does for 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. Okay. So what happens is she's actually responding to people sending her virtual gifts, like anything from ice cream cones to little hearts. And Pinky Doll pretends to be a non-playable character in a video game. And so these are the characters that just hang around the sidelines on Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim or Mario, and they just don't do anything. And when you walk up to them, they have these automated responses and movements. So Pinky Doll says these nonsensical things like, ice cream's so good, or she pops kernels of popcorn with a flat iron while she's doing it. So how much do you think she makes a day doing this for 6 hours a day? How much? Well, let me just tell you, you're wrong. She makes $7,000 a day. $7,000 a day doing that. Okay. If you do the math, that's $2.5 million a year. Oh my gosh. $2.5 million a year. Good for her, I guess. Man, I don't know. All right. Coming up in our money tip, we have the tech mistake that's costing you money every single month. I'm also going to tell you how you can find some spy cams with your phone. And we have our internet contest coming up, Am I the A-hole or not? And then we have all of your great phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too shy to come on a big-time radio show and podcast, I get that. You can drop me your question over at the website. That's komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. And just a quick reminder about our newsletters. If you're not already getting them, let me tell you, they are hot stuff. You can sign up right now over at getkim.com. We're talking about the latest tech news and tips every single day for free. And you're going to join over 400,000 folks over at getkim.com. Okay, folks, we have a great story for you today. You don't want to miss this. Sean Warner is the guy's name. Now, he's a former Army paratrooper who switched lanes to follow this lifelong dream he had of becoming an author. So he published his first novel called Lee Howard and the Ghosts of Simons Pierce Manor back in November 2022. Now, the book's great, but it only sold about 150 copies. It just kind of hovered there. But then life threw a total curveball. Okay, here's how it went down. Sean's sitting there at a Kroger store in Texas, signing and promoting his book, and not really expecting a whole lot. And then in walks this guy, Jared Red Swearingen. And they talk and they chit-chat, and Red decides to grab a book, and then he does something else. He also starts recording a video that he is going to post on TikTok. And then the internet goes crazy. The video racked up 19 million views, over 3 million likes, and just like that, Sean's book is at the top of the Amazon bestsellers list. And all of this in a blink of an eye, a week. I mean, imagine this. The guy wrote the book. It's been sitting there since November of 2022, and then it just blows up. All right, to tell us the whole story is Sean himself. Sean, thank you so much for being here on the show. Take us back to that day in the Kroger store.
I was sitting just doing a book signing. I'd done several before this. Kroger's has this National Authors in the Grocery Store program. There was a lull in the store, so nobody was coming by to talk to me. And I'd been sitting there since 9 a.m., skipped lunch to sit there. And Red came by at around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I'd been there for a while when he came by.
So how many people actually stopped by in, say, those 6 hours?
Well, a lot of people have stopped by, but in terms of sales, I think I'd sold 12 books that day.
All right.
Which is a fairly decent day up to that point, and he just stopped by. He saw me sitting alone, and out of the kindness of his heart, Red came over and started talking to me. And we talked about the book and his interest in it. And he asked if he could take a tip-top video. And I said, sure, if I could help him while I was there, more's the better.
Right. And so then what did he do in the video?
He asked me about the book, and he said he wanted to buy a copy to give away on his TikTok channel. Asked if I'd mind, which of course I didn't. And he just filmed it, and that was kind of the end of it. It was the smallest thing. And I that's really the heartbeat of this story, is a small act of kindness just exploded my world. And it's just amazing.
So how many books have you sold to date?
Oh, a few days ago, my publisher told me we were at about 56,000 copies sold.
Wow. Isn't that something? I mean,
that's an incredible number for a debut author.
And all over the world, right?
All over the world. It was kind of funny. I woke up Saturday morning before the book signing. I think I knew 12 people, and then woke up Monday morning. I'm getting best wishes from Bulgaria. It's just crazy.
And now the reviews. I mean, you must have been in the beginning, like when people started buying the books, like, oh, I hope they're just not buying it because of this TikTok guy. I hope that they really enjoy it, because it takes a long time to write a book, right?
It does. And that was a real concern for me. We started out confused. We didn't know what was going on. And then we saw the TikTok video, and my first reaction was exactly what you said. I didn't want pity sales or sympathy sales or anything like that. But then the reviews started coming in. I'm up to around 2,000 views now, or reviews on Amazon. And by and large, they're in the 4.9 to 5 out of 5 stars reviews. So people are enjoying the book, which is what it was intended for. So then I started to relax a little bit and enjoying the ride.
Now, let me ask you a question. Have you read every single review?
I don't read every single review. This is just too much to read. But I do skim through them, and people point out ones that they think, knowing me, that they think that I would get the most enjoyment out of.
So tell me about the review that meant the most to you.
The ones that people say that they're reading it with their kids mean a lot to me. The ones that say that it reignites their passion for reading is gone dim, but it's reignited. But the one that stands out in my mind, excuse me, is a young girl who did a book report on the book, and her parents posted a review, said she loves this book, and they posted a picture of her doing some fan art of Lee.
Nice.
That just meant so much to me.
It's like they're coming alive off the pages at that point, right?
Right. And I wrote this book for young people to read, to be a fun read. That's if I wanted to say I had a cause, that would be it. When I was a kid, I was reading books for fun, and it kind of gave me a pause button on all the stuff I was going through, and all kids go through.
Right.
And reading was fun, and I think we've gotten away from allowing kids to read fun books because of all the serious stuff out there and the classics that need to be read. But I think reading should be fun, and that's why I wrote the book.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so one last question. Of course, this has happened to you, so now you want to pay it forward. What would that be?
Mm-hmm. I really don't know, because this is such an unprecedented thing for a debut author. I of course, support the indie bookshops. Those are the places that I grew up in as a kid.
Right.
Any writers who have questions, I try to answer them and give them the benefit of experience. But they need to bear in mind, this is my debut novel.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just as much as a baby writer as the rest of them.
Well, congratulations on your success. And I'm sure there's going to be an animation series now, podcasts and characters and all kinds of stuff coming into your future. And thank you for your service to our country as well, Sean.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
What a great guy. Okay, once again, the title of the book is Lee Howard and the Ghost of Simons Pierce Manor, and you can find it on Amazon, and it's Sean Warner is the author. I just love success stories, don't you? It's so amazing how one guy made a difference in this guy's life forever, and his family's. Hey, still to come, we have our internet contest. Is this person the a-hole or not? You get to judge. And of course, we have more of your great phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, now we're going to head over into Reddit. They have this really busy community called Am I the A-hole? It's where folks go there and they tell their deepest, darkest secrets and situations. And then they ask the whole Reddit community, am I an a-hole or not? And then the crowd steps in, they cast their votes, and they put all kinds of comments out there. So now it's time for you to put on the judge's hat. Are they or are they not the a-hole? But wait, there's more, because we have a special guest contestant just ready and primed, because they want to compete for the grand prize. You know what that is? A Kim Komando Show fanny pack. That's right. And joining us this week is Victoria in La Jolla, California. Hello there, Victoria.
I'm excited, and if I am blessed to be a winner, it will turn from just a fanny pack into an amazing dog treat Kim Komando pack.
Oh, that's even better yet. Okay, so here's how it's going to work, Victoria. I'm going to read you a story. Now, this one's kind of long, so you're going to have to follow it. I'm ready. I was going to edit it down, but there are details in here that you need to hear, okay? So it goes like this. My mom and dad made a family YouTube channel, and it started when I was 13. I'm 17 now. I have two younger siblings. They're 7 and 9 years old. At first, I went along with the YouTube channel because it was kind of fun, and I didn't expect it to get that big, but it did. And as I've been getting older, I'm getting creepy comments and harassed online, and I feel like I can't relax at home when home is a content farm. I've argued with my family a lot. They agreed to stop making me the subject of videos, but so many of our family photos and videos are for the family, they end up online. They argue, saying that they were just filming my siblings and I was around, and of course, I live there. But they won't take down any of the old videos of me because they're making advertising revenue from the videos. So I went on Instagram and TikTok, and I made a public post saying, I'm the girl from the fill in the blank family blogging channel. I'm not comfortable with my life being used for content. I don't consent to being filmed at home or living my life on YouTube. So if you did ever watch these videos, would you please unsubscribe and report any content that you see of me online. Well, after that, people must have reported the videos because the family YouTube channel was demonetized. My parents turned off the comments since so many people were talking about it. Now my parents are furious at me for affecting their income. I yelled at them that they both need to grow up and get a real job that doesn't depend on filming their kids for the internet. My mom got angry, saying that there are other ways to work things out and we shouldn't get the channel demonetized. And I said, I tried. I wanted you to take down the videos, but you won't. So now I'm grounded. And for I don't know how long. It sucks because that's more time that I have to spend here in the YouTube content farmhouse. So am I the a-hole for posting online about not wanting to be part of the family YouTube channel content farm?
While I sympathize with the parents wanting to monetize a fun YouTube channel, I have to say I am with the young girl preserving her privacy, her public face, her personal brand. I'm absolutely 100% behind her. While her parents do have a right to ground her, I think she also has a right to search out an adult advocate and sit down and have a therapy meeting with a impartial third party between her parents and herself, because privacy is critically important to everybody, particularly in this digital age, and particularly to all teenagers, never mind a young teenage girl. Her content will live forever online. There's nothing she can ever do about that at this point, but she can stop it from going forward and should not be punished for that. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm a mom, but I'm still with the daughter on this.
All right. Let's see what the internet said on Reddit. You're absolutely right, Victoria. Everybody stood behind this young woman. Last time I checked, she had, I think, almost 2,000 comments from people saying, hey, you know what? You did the right thing. Just like you mentioned, go find an advocate. And this way you can talk to your parents. And because they're probably not going to get a real job because they have a 7 and 9-year-old coming up. But that also may make the younger siblings think outside the box as well, right? Yes.
Absolutely.
All righty. So that we solved that dilemma. I know you have a question for me, so how can I lend a hand?
Well, first I want to say that, as you will recall, I run a small animal rescue, and we recently had a kitten litter, which we are now calling the Kim Commando Kittens, and we've named one after you and Mary Ann, and soon there will be one named after Amber and the rest of your crew as well.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria.
Well, thank you for your advocacy for all of us digitally, as well as for your pets. Here's my problem. I had a Kindle, the hardware type of Kindle type tablet, and I love listening to books on it because I multitask and listen to the books via the accessibility function that's built into all of the Kindles.
Yeah,
However,
it works great.
It was wonderful. The computer voice just sounds so human, and it's very listenable, and I can increase it. It's wonderful. Anyway, however, one of my dogs didn't feel the same way and ate the Kindle.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bless his heart. So my board members, bless their heart, replaced it not with a Kindle, but with a Samsung tablet that has a Kindle app. So I did download the books, but the app in the Samsung does not have a way to read just the books. I tried to use their accessibility, and it reads other stuff, but not just the books. All I want it to do is read me books so I can clean up and feed the animals while I'm listening to books and multitask.
And it'd be kind of rude to go back to them and say, hey, you know what, thanks for the tablet, but I really just wanted a Kindle.
I know. And they were so kind and generous.
I know. All right. Well, you do have a solution. There's an app, and it's called @VoiceAloudReader. Okay.
Voice Aloud Reader.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so there's an @sign, and then it's Voice Aloud Reader, and you can find that in the Google Play Store. So basically, what you're going to do is open the Kindle app, and then head over to the book that you'd like to read. And the problem is that you have to select the text that you want to be read aloud. Okay. And that's the downside, is you're going to probably have to do this like page by page by page
Oh,
by
no.
page. I know. I'm sorry. But that's...
Can we appeal to your giant readership and say this is an opportunity for somebody to reinvent this app so that we can use it without doing it page by page?
Yeah. Let me see if there's that's the one that I know of. But, if anybody's listening and you found a better solution, I want you to go ahead and drop me a note through the webpage. And if the solution works, I'll tell you what, I will give you a Kim Komando Show doggy treat holder. What do you think?
That's fantastic.
All right. So one will go to you, Victoria, and one will go to the first person who tells me how they can make the Kindle app read on a Samsung tablet. Because, my thought is initially that, Amazon, that's always been their big feature, the text to speech. And they probably want to make that a little bit proprietary to their whole devices. But if that doesn't work, and it still is just going page by page, Victoria, I'm sure we can figure out how to donate a Kindle to you. So we'll make you whole. Either way, we'll make you whole. We will. And congrats on the big win, and thanks for playing along. There used to be a kid in Maine who had his chicken named after me, Kim, and he would call from time to time, about laptops or what type of gaming system that he needed. And I'd always hear this chicken in the background. And so one day when he called, I said, "Hey, what happened to Kim, the chicken?" And the phone line went silent, like that radio silent for like 20 seconds. And I'm like, "Hey, are you still there?" And he goes, "Well, I hate to tell you, but we ate Kim." It's like, oh no, that's so sad. All right, let's talk about subscriptions. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It seems like everywhere you turn, somebody wants you to pay them a monthly fee for something. But there are ways that you can save money on these subscriptions. And let's start with Amazon. Now, if you don't already have a Prime membership, I don't know who you are, but if you want to try it, you get a free 30-day trial, by the way. And it costs $140 a year. Now, you can split this cost with a friend or family member and still get all the benefits. Now, each person will get their own account, so you do maintain your privacy, but you will have access to each other's payment methods. So only do this with a person who you trust. Now, you can also add up to 4 teens, ages between 13 and 17, to the plan for free. And then every teen in the household gets their own Amazon login. But an adult has to approve all their purchases on the plan. So again, if you or your husband or you and somebody else are each paying for your Amazon account, just know that you can share the account, and then you can also share all the benefits with your kids as well. The same thing with Apple. They have something called Apple One. So if you have a lot of folks in your family that are on iPhones or iPads or any other iDevice that may be out there, just know that they have family plans that you can save some money. We did that. We just saved a ton of money. And I would suggest that you check it out too. Ditto if you're a Google family, because they have basic plans and standard and premium plans too, that you can also set up family sharing for the storage and anything else that you buy. And so in case you're interested in this, we have more information over on the website. Of course, head over to Komando.com, and when you're there, just hit that button that says Show Pics right on the homepage. And still to come, how to find hidden spy cams using your phone here on the Kim Komando Show. And if you're not getting our podcast, you're missing out. We have our Daily Tech Update podcast. I love this. Every day you get just 2 minutes. It's a news story and a digital life hack you're going to use time and time again. It's perfect when you're making a cup of coffee, taking the dog out in the morning, or just brushing your teeth. So wherever you get your podcasts, get the Daily Tech Update. Just search for Komando with a K. All right, back to the phones we go with David in Indiana.
Hi. I'm so excited I've never spoken to a digital goddess before.
Oh, well, here you go. I'd say you could go win the $1 billion lottery, but I heard that somebody already did that. So,
okay.
It's your lucky day. So what's going on?
Right. Well, I got a call from my son, my adult son, and he said, "Hey, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I just got a text from somebody saying that if you want to see your father alive, send some money. You have to send some money to this number or something." Mm-hmm. And he's no dummy. He didn't fall for it. But we were thinking, well, there might be people who did. And I checked out the window. There weren't any black cars driving up the driveway or anything. So I figured it probably wasn't anything serious. But again, people might get fooled with this, and I just wondered, there's got to be some way to somebody to report this kind of guy to, or this kind of action.
Yeah, it's called the Internet Crime Complaint Center. It's IC3.gov, and it's part of the FBI. But these are the latest scare tactics that the scammers are using right now. I don't want to call them hackers because they're not hackers. These are just miscreants, and these are scammers. That your son's phone number, somehow they got it. Maybe it was publicly posted on some website because so many are now, people don't even know it. And then with a family tree, they figured out what your name is, and so they texted him and they said that, and and hoping to engage your son in some type of conversation.
Sure.
And people do fall for this, up to including voice cloning. We had a gal on the show not too long ago who she got a call from her daughter, who said that she was kidnapped and mom needed to send $3,000. Well, it was all a scam. What they did is they cloned the girl's voice from her social media videos, because you only need a couple of minutes of somebody's voice to clone it. Yeah. And you know how much it costs to clone a voice now? Just a basic clone. Okay.
I bet it's just pennies.
It's, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's $4.
Wow.
Okay. Now, you're not going to get a high quality clone. I mean, you're not going to get it where they can say any word in any book and make it have tone and inflection, but it's enough to fool somebody. It's enough that if you get a call from your kid and they say that they're kidnapped, or they've been in a car accident, or they lost their passport, they're in jail, whatever it may be, it's enough for you to stand up and take notice.
Right. Sure.
So, does this mean that you've been hacked or your son has been hacked? Absolutely not. It just means that he got put on a list, and they're going to go through any way possible so that this way they can make their money. Anything that they can do. They don't care. You know what? There are training camps in Europe and in Africa and in India where they're teaching children how to scam Americans. So you have to be smart. And your son was smart, saying, you know what, Dad, are you okay? And that's your first rule of thumb. If you ever get a call, no matter who it's from, maybe it's your neighbor who says that your dog got hit and she took the dog to the vet and now you owe $600 and she paid it, so you need to give her your credit card number so she can get $600 from you or Venmo or whatever it may be. Okay. You just need to be smart. You get a phone call, you get a text, something's wrong, you need to call that person back, you need to text them, but I prefer if you call them. Just call them, hear their voice, make sure that everything's good, you get peace of mind, and then you move on. And block the call, report the call to your carrier, as well as you can make an incident report over at the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Once again, that's IC3.gov. David, thank you for your call. Now, the big takeaway for this is that if you ever get a phone call, you want to just hang up and try to contact that child directly or whoever that person is. And you want to be skeptical, especially if they're pressuring you to send any money. Yeah, that would be really bad. Now, you can report the call to local enforcement. Not sure they're going to do anything, but at least there'll be a report. Then you can also file a complaint at the Internet Crime Complaint Center, as I mentioned, or over at the FTC.gov. Stay right where you are. I'm going to tell you how you can find hidden spy cams using your smartphone here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, thanks to technology, cameras are super small. They can be hidden anywhere. I'm talking about electrical outlets, smoke detectors, even TV remotes can have a hidden spy cam. So how do you find them? First, you open your phone's camera app and you switch to the front-facing camera. You want to turn off all the lights in the room and you walk around. Now, if you see any white flashes, that's probably a hidden camera's infrared light. Now, you can also invest in an RF detector. I like the anti-spy detector over on Amazon, sells for around $40. It picks up RF signals from devices like wireless cams or even these audio listening devices. And you want to make sure that you have turned off all the electrical devices first before you use that, by the way. You can also sign on to the network and see if there are any hidden MAC addresses that you don't recognize. And if you find any cameras, you want to call the cops. That's the bottom line, especially if you're an Airbnb or a rental like that. Hey, be sure to tell 3 friends about the show. You can find me at Komando.com.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Here is hour 3.
Hey, let's start with something interesting. Last week, someone purchased the first Apple iPhone at an auction. How much do you think they got? Well, I'll tell you. $200,000. Whoa, that's crazy. It was all packaged up, of course. Now, they're also selling some other vintage Apple gear over at Sotheby's this coming week. And let's think what it could be. Maybe it's an Apple tie. Maybe it's Steve Jobs' first Windows PC. It's size 10.5 sneakers. Well, apparently, Steve Jobs made these sneakers for a sales conference and gave everybody a pair. And somebody just never wore them. They're size 10.5. And they have the Apple logo on the side. It's the old school rainbow color logo. It kind of looks like a pair of old Nikes. And you ready for the price? $50,000. Wow. Good. You know, I'm thinking about buying some Velcro strips for my sneakers and just getting rid of laces, because how easy would that be? I mean, why not? Ha, ha, ha. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, to this. It's the biggest, baddest show about all things digital, your most trusted source. It's award-winning, of course, as well. And I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts, because every single thing is now a tech thing. And you can find us on 420 top stations across the United States for streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can find us as a podcast and as a webcast 24/7, 3 months worth of archives over at Komando.com. You just want to go ahead and hit that yellow button for the Komando community. And a special hello goes out to our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force, and 175 different countries who are joining us on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women. I love that. And I'm sure you have at least 1, 2, or 12 questions about something in your digital life I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And if you need immediate tech support, you need somebody to come into your house, to come into your life and fix any type of tech issue that you have that's plaguing your little brain, head over to GetKimsHelp.com. Once again, that's GetKimsHelp.com. And that's my team of experts who I trust, and you can too. Once again, that's GetKimsHelp.com. Alrighty, every single day I go to at least 30 different websites, and here are 5 things that are happening in the tech world you need to know right now. And we're going to start in Virginia. Well, this is a story, by the way, that I want you to tell all the kids in your family. I want you to just tell them the story, because you're going to plant a seed. And it's going to be a seed that they will remember in case they're ever faced in this type of situation. It's about a 15-year-old girl who disappeared without a trace. Her parents and her neighborhood searched frantically. Volunteers came out. No luck. They could not find this little 15-year-old girl. Now, in reality, she was gone from the neighborhood. She was on a bus headed across the country to Tolleson, Arizona, with her kidnapper, 28-year-old guy by the name of Ethan Roberts. How did they meet? Online. That's right. So Ethan went to Virginia to take the girl away to his home in Arizona. And he said, oh, well, if you want to bring some things with you, that would be okay. What did she bring with her? Her Nintendo Switch. So her friends and family, they're all just, devastated because they can't find her. But their luck hadn't run out. The Nintendo Switch has a feature that lets you alert your friends that you're online and you're playing, or if you're just watching a YouTube video. When she logged in, the girl did, the 15-year-old girl, to actually play a game, her smart friend across the country noticed that she had logged in. And then her smart friend called the police and said, hey, I think she's online. I think I found her. So the police contacted Nintendo. They got the IP address, which led it straight to this 28-year-old guy who was making the 15-year-old girl do child pornography. They arrested him, and he is sentenced to 30 years in a federal prison. 30 years. I hope he gets real familiar with brooms. That's all I'd like to say. Number 2, tech support scams are having a twist. You know, the ones they call you and they say, hey, you know, you have fraud on your account. We found, speaking of child porn, on your system. We need to get that off, and we need to make sure that you pay us. So you need to give us gift cards or send us money by Venmo or Zelle or something like that. Well, the new twist is this. You're still going to get the phone call, the phishing email, or maybe a link on a website. But instead of them asking you for gift cards, they're going to say, we want cash. Yes, we need cash. And we need you to go to your bank and get $500, thousands of dollars, whatever it may be. We want you to put it inside of a magazine. We don't care which one. Just make it a good magazine. And then stuff it into an envelope, take it to FedEx or UPS or what have you, and then mail it to us. And then we'll go ahead and start taking care of all of your issues. So you might be sitting there thinking, like, who would be dumb enough to do this? Well, apparently so many people are that dumb that the FBI has issued a big old warning. So make sure you tell your family members and friends about this one, too. This particular scam is really targeting folks who are older adults. So those are the people in your lives you really need to share this with. All right, moving on to number 3. Let's talk about going camping. All right, if you're planning on heading to Yellowstone, Yosemite, or Grand Canyon, you have to book a camping spot in advance. Now, 51 million people camped in the United States last year. Not me, but a lot of people do like it. The Wall Street Journal reports that while campsites are fully booked, by the time you get there, they're usually half empty. Why? Because of no-shows. So there are now cancellation alert services. Camp Flare. It's a website and an app, scans national parks, state parks, national forests for cancellations every 45 seconds. There's another app, Camp Scanner. It works the same way, and it tracks cancellations listed on recreation.gov, and the plans cost $79 a year. It scans every 5 minutes at 15 locations. I know, it's pretty expensive, but if you're looking for a last-minute camping trip this summer, definitely worth the investment. The names of those apps again, Camp Flare and Camp Scanner. All right, moving on to number 4. Have you ever really checked to make sure you haven't left anything at an Airbnb? I sure do. I go through everything. I thought this was kind of funny. The story about Juliana over at Airbnb in Miami. She was posting about stuff that people leave in her Airbnb. She says there's always food, there's alcohol. She said it just kills her when she has to pour down bottles down the drain, especially if it's Don Julio. Wedding leftovers, stuff, top the charts too, and then she may just give it to the cleaners, she may donate it. But bigger items that people have left behind, a Marc Jacobs bag, a scarf, and a hat. And then she contacts the people and say, hey, do you want this stuff back? And there's one person said, no, it was a gift for a friend, and I'm not that person's friend anymore, so now a gift for you. And last, this number 5 coming in, if you are dating online, you really need to listen up to this, okay? They did a study about 1,400 folks on Tinder, and what they found is that 2/3 of those people who are already in a relationship or just hooked up with somebody else, some are even married. 2/3 of the people in this survey on Tinder. So just keep this in mind. Just keep this in mind, right? That if you're out there dating online, a lot of folks are already in a relationship. I'm sorry. All right, coming up, we have 5 signs that your webcam has been hacked. We have the best apps for golfers, and also how you can fake your location online to get the lowest price. And, of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, if you're not already getting our free newsletters, make sure that you sign up now while you're thinking about it over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. Keisha in Seattle.
Well, I have something that I came up with that's really cool, and I need some advice, help to build a app and a prototype and have it patented.
Okay. Well, first of all, you need to speak to an attorney, like a patent attorney. Because that's really somebody who can make sure that the patent application and all the dots and are crossed and all that other good stuff. But you can start by number one. Let me just give you some ideas, okay? Number one, you got to document your idea and any functionalities of this invention, okay? And then after that, that's when you take that to a patent attorney. And then that's where they're going to file a patent application. Now, then you might want to develop a prototype. Now, for that, you may find somebody around there in Seattle, I'm sure, some type of product development company or industrial designer or engineer who can help you create a prototype. Now, you can find these people online, but I'm not sure if I would do all this online, especially if I think this invention is really darn good. Okay? I'd be more inclined to find somebody who I can have them sign a non-disclosure. They're located in my hometown, okay, or close to it. And because they're in the United States, they're governed by U.S. law, and they're not in Bangladesh somewhere. Okay. Then, and then the other thing you want to do is just do a preliminary patent search. And you can do that yourself. Just go to the U.S. Patent and Trademark database, the website. So it's the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And then after that, you can source some manufacturing, and then you get into marketing and sales. Now, I will tell you, I'm not going to say what you invented. Okay. But in your question to me, you said what you invented. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, you have competition. I had a gentleman on the air with me probably about a year ago who is bringing this product to market. Now, there are 8 brands of dish detergent on the shelves, right? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't compete, but I just wanted to make you aware. So if you do a search, I think he'll probably pop up.
Does it depend on what how he patented it?
I'm not that familiar with patents, and I don't want to give you any type of legal advice because my head doesn't go there. Because I'm not qualified to do that, and I don't. But I don't want to discourage you either, because I believe that if you have a great idea and if you have ambition and gumption and smarts, that America is a great place, because you can come up, for example, I want to do a radio show that talks about consumer tech when nobody knew about consumer tech, and everybody told me it was stupid, it was dumb, it would never work. Okay. Well, hello. Okay. Here I am. Okay. And so I don't want to, I never want to discourage an entrepreneur. Never, ever. But I just want you to go out and look a little deeper for this, and be sure you search that patent and trademark database for something like this. I think he was, last time I spoke to this guy again, because I had him on the air because I thought it was such a great idea, but I don't want to tell everybody what the idea is that he was getting substantial funding from people in that industry. Now, did he get the funding? I don't know. Okay. Maybe he's looking for a partner. I don't know. But I think if you do some searching, you'll find him. Now, if say you search, a couple of days and you can't find it, then, write us a note back and we'll see if we can dig something up and then point you in that direction, Keisha. And once again, thank you for your call. And you know what? You can do this. Oh, yeah, we can do it. We can squeeze in another great phone call right here. Michael in Beaumont, Texas.
Hi, Kim. If I could steal an extra 10 seconds, you are my shero. I feel like a dumb Wookiee sometimes, and you just guided me through the digital universe. Thank you so much. But I've been making business connections all over the world, and a lot of my connections, particularly, Kim, in the Asian countries, are very anxious to have me connect on WhatsApp. And I'm a little apprehensive with some of what I've heard about it, and I just wanted to get the official word from you on how I should proceed, please.
Well, I'm glad that you called.
Thank you.
What kind of business are you doing?
I'm a restaurant manager, and it turns out some of the challenges are global, and we exchange ideas and problem-solving tips and things like that. It's not a necessity; it's become a social thing, and I definitely try to minimize the number of apps that I use. So I was wondering if what I should particularly watch out for WhatsApp.
Well, WhatsApp, it's owned by Facebook. Okay. And just so you know, a lot of the data sharing is going to be happening back and forth. Some people are concerned about that. Some people are like, I give up. They have all my data and they're just going to keep getting all the data. WhatsApp, it can be used by scammers and cyber criminals. So make sure you're always careful about unknown numbers. You don't want to give away any real personal information. You're smart. You're not going to share passwords or anything like that. Now, WhatsApp, the web lets you use it right on your computer. So just keep that in mind if you have any sensitive messages or that. Now, when it comes to privacy settings, you really need to get into there because unless you turn it off, people can see when you were on last. They can read receipts. They see your profile photo. They can get a lot of personal information about you. So that's why I also want to make sure that you sign up and you set up the 2-step verification. Because this way you're going to get a 6-digit PIN if anybody tries to steal your account. Now, by default, and this is a big one, by default, anyone can add you to a group chat. Now, so you might just want to change that because that can get pretty annoying, all right? And so you change it from my contacts to my contacts accept, and then just get in the privacy settings and drill down in there. And just be careful when you're using it because there's just so, it seems like every time you turn around, somebody's getting scammed. It's like,
all day, either personal or professional, all day.
Yeah. And it's just, I wish we could go back when life was all hunky dory, but we were getting scammed then, but it doesn't seem like they were all as sophisticated as they are now. But, it
was easier to find them then.
Yes, it was. Now they're just located all around the world. And they're 10 years old. Okay. And that's when they get started in figuring out how they can steal money from all these Americans. Well, have some fun, Mike. And again, just head into those privacy settings and look at every single option. And thanks again for your call. Have you ever sat there and thought to yourself, my webcam, it's looking at me. I wonder if someone else is looking at me through that webcam. Well, still to come in our privacy tip, 5 ways that you can tell that your webcam is hacked. And, of course, more of your phone calls you never want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show.
This radio program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.
All right, coming up in just a few minutes, ways that you can tell that your webcam has been hacked. And before we get to that, let's talk about golf. Okay, you can buy a smartwatch for golfers that shows the holes, the wind speed, distances for about $500. But if you have an Apple Watch, a really great app is called Hole 19. You can keep score on your watch as well, get distances in the front, back, and middle of the green, and it's free. And if you want a handicap calculator, maps, and shot tracking, that's $50 a year. Next up, the Tag Heuer golf app. Now, if you golf more than a few times a year, you're going to want the premium version. Yeah, that costs. Anytime you say premium, you get maps, distances, shot measuring, $40 a year. And finally, 18 Birdies is free. But guess what? Oh, you're so smart. You're going to want the premium version because it has stats, more play options, the blind shot compass, so you know if you're pointed at the green when you can't see it. That's always my problem. $100. But you can try all 3 for free, and you're bound to love really one. Okay, so let's see. Those names are, once again, we're talking about Hole 19, Tag Heuer, 18 Birdies. And if you need links to any of these, we have them all over at Komando.com. Gracie in Oklahoma, glad to have you with us.
We recently bought a house in just outside a rural town in Missouri, and there is no internet service available. It's hard to believe, but it's true.
You're like, oh.
So I guess we're looking at satellite, and we're wondering if you have any better options.
How's your cell phone coverage there?
It's pretty good.
Okay. So that would probably be a really good option, is to look at your cell phone carrier and then to see what kind of package that they could put together. And especially if you have a decent cell phone signal. Now, the other thing that you could do And I believe you sent me an email, so I actually checked on, because I was curious. I wanted to see if you could get Starlink. Now, Starlink is Elon Musk's satellite business. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Okay. So I punched in your address and said, sorry, Charlie, no residential Starlink for you on that road in Missouri. But if you're really desperate, Starlink, they do sell a business package that you could get. But it's $250 a month. And then the hardware, brace yourself, is $2,500. Okay. But as I was on the Starlink page, it said that they were hoping that they were going to have access on your road by the end of this year. So the worst case is that you'll have to do the cell phone packages, the cellular data plans rather, until Starlink is available. I have Starlink at my house, and it works phenomenal. It's great. And really? It's $600 for the gear, and then it's about $110 a month. And it really is a stellar solution. I happen to use it as a backup so that if for some reason the Cox cable dies, which it does, okay, I don't know why, it just seems to happen, that if we're doing a show or something from the house, that I can still get online. So it's really for me as a backup. But the times that we do need to use it, the latency really is not an issue as it used to be. Now, of course, you have Hughes. They've been around for a long time as a satellite provider, but they're super expensive. So, unless you got Rockefeller in your middle name, that may not be something for you. But I would definitely look at, using a cellular data plan. You may also, just for giggles, call a local telephone company. And I know what you're thinking, like, Kim, don't put me on a dial-up. I'm not putting you on a dial-up. Is that sometimes in these rural communities is that you can still get a DSL line. And it just may be worth checking out to see if somehow there's a DSL line there. Because I've heard really strange stories that somehow they got it in the middle of a farm in the middle of Nebraska. They got a DSL line. They're not sure where it came from or when it got there, So that just is, just a kind of a crazy option for you. And then there's fixed wireless, but that requires a point-to-point, and you probably already would have found that person if they were already doing that. So I would sign up for Starlink and give them your address, and this way you can get notified when they do reach your community. Until then, you're looking at using your cellular data plan, which, keep in mind, it's not going to be the same as a really fast wired connection or satellite connection, but it's pretty darn close, especially if you can get 5G. I think you're going to be really pleased with it. And thanks for your call today, Casey. I love this. Yes. Jenny, you're up next. Colorado Springs, Colorado.
I'm having problems with Chinese voices coming through my speakers on my computer with no applications running.
Okay, so you're hearing sounds out of your computer?
I'm hearing people talking. I have conversations or news reports, but they're all in Chinese.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about how that might be happening, okay? And I'm just going to go through some different situations, and then you'll have to say, yeah, I did that, or yes, I can try that type of thing, all right? First of all, we want to rule out any possibilities of any website or that may be doing this. So you want to make sure all your browser tabs are closed, all your applications are closed, okay?
And I Control Alt Delete Task Manager and did all that.
Okay, and then you also have something called the volume mixer. And you want to see if any other applications are showing sound input when the voices are starting, because that can help you identify the source. You want to do a full system scan, antivirus, anti-malware. You want to update your audio drivers because maybe you have some outdated or corrupt audio drivers. You can just go to the manufacturer's website for your PC or sound card. You can check your network. Make sure that you don't have any unauthorized devices, and so you don't have a wide open wireless network, that you have it protected with a really good password, and you can also just limit it to just your devices too. Okay. Sometimes speakers can pick up radio signals, but I'm not really seeing a radio station near you in Colorado Springs that's speaking Mandarin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And it's very random. So it happens like in the middle of the night. If I haven't turned the speakers off or muted the computer, suddenly there'll be people talking that just appear in there. And I'm just looking around trying to figure out where they're coming from.
You're like, I'm hearing voices and I don't understand what they're saying.
I was afraid that people thought I had taken leave of my senses because, it really does sound. My husband was so funny. He goes, "Your friends are back."
That's so funny. Your friends are back. Go through. I'm going to send you a list of things to check. All right. Now.
Oh, that'd be great.
Now, if that doesn't work and your friends are still around. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a remote tech support service. And if they don't fix your problem, you don't pay. And these are my tech experts. You can go to, it's over at getkimshelp.com. Once again, it's getkimshelp.com. And it's really good for these type of situations where, it's really hard for me to jump through the speakers here and give you some hands-on support so that you could go through each and every one of these processes. And then you can actually see somebody do this, by the way. Once again, that website is getkimshelp.com. But we're going to send you the list of things to check yourself, Jenny. But if you need any other help, somebody actually go in that computer to remote in, somebody who you can trust, you want to go to getkimshelp.com. And once again, thanks for your call. Yeah, she definitely needs getkimshelp.com. All right. You look at your PC or your Mac, you notice that the webcam light is on. You're like, what? I don't think any app is using my camera. Is it some creepy person or what's going on? Well, here are some things to look for. Number one, that webcam light. The light should only come on when the camera is in use, right? Next up, some weird icons or unfamiliar programs that just pop up right on, say, the home screen on your phone or on your desktop. Well, creeps could have installed software that access your webcam. Number three, you get unexpected pop-ups or documents in your files. Where did that come from? Your webcam could be hacked. Number four, well, it's actually your friends. They start receiving some weird messages or emails from you. Here's what could be happening behind the scenes. Your webcam could be compromised and the hacker is sending and receiving data from it. Now, also your browser. Maybe you start looking at it and you see extensions that you didn't install yourself. Well, hackers use those to access your webcam. And one clear sign is that if the light turns on whenever you open your browser, if the light turns on whenever you open your browser, that's when you need to check for any weirdo extensions. And if you need this complete list because you want to refer to it again or maybe share it with your family members and friends to say, hey, I'm tech smart and you should be too, head over to the website. That's komando.com. And then there's a button there at the top that says Show Pics. All right, still to come, we have more of your great phone calls. And then later on, something that you may have never thought of. Now, where you shop online, right, is your physical location. It's tracked by your IP address. So what if you change your IP address to be something else? Can you actually get a lower price online for goods and services? Well, that answer is still to come, and the way that you make that magic happen here on the Kim Komando Show. Now, listen, if you're not getting our free newsletters, they've been a complete overhaul. Like just this morning, I got an email from somebody who said, Kim, I gave up on your newsletters 3 years ago. I signed up and now I'm in love with you once again. And I'm in love with you too, Tom. I really am. So if you got our newsletters and you stopped getting them because you said they were just full of ads and junk, well, not anymore. They are completely different. Head over to getkim.com and join over 400,000 folks who get them every single day. Once again, that address is getkim.com. Bert in Chattanooga, Georgia.
Well, I'm close to the Tennessee line. I'm actually in Ellijay, Georgia, about 60 miles southeast of Chattanooga.
Wow. Must be really pretty up there, huh?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I've got a cabin in here on a ridge line that in the summertime, I feel like I'm in a tree house, and in the wintertime, I can see the North Georgia mountains.
That's super duper. So what's going on in your mind?
Well, it's we don't have all of the loops on everything for electricity like they do in the big cities, and a tree can take down the power, and we can be out of power anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 and 4 and 5 days, depending on how bad the storm was and how many trees fell down. And I do have Wi-Fi. In fact, got fiber optics coming in here shortly.
Nice.
But when I lose power, my generator is programmed to only come on every 30 minutes or every 2.5, 3 hours to keep my refrigeration going and my hot water going. And but I don't have a battery backup for my router. And I was just wondering if you could recommend something that would keep me in Wi-Fi when I don't have any power.
Yeah. All of a sudden it's like, I need to get on the internet right now. Okay. I need to make sure that everything's going to be okay in the world. I need to check my TikTok and my Facebook and my email and all that other good stuff. You know what? I totally get it. Because we have a generator at our house, and it's a whole house generator, fortunately. And so, but it does sometimes take a little hiccup when I'm like, what's going on? You know, so anyway, I totally get that. So when you start looking at a UPS, some things that you want to consider is, of course, how much power it can provide. Okay. And then also the runtime, how long it can provide that power. And so you gave me that 30 minutes. Okay. In between the generator kicking in and then going off and good stuff like that. So you also want to take a look at the brand. And that's really important because when you go shopping for a UPS on Amazon, you see all these different makers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it gets to be confusing. And so there's only really two brands that I would ever buy. One is called APC. Okay. It's been around for a long time. The other one's called CyberPower. And just keep in mind that the actual runtime of the UPS depends upon the router and the draw of that router. That was my New York accent coming out. Sorry about that. The draw of the power.
Well, actually, I have your VPN router here.
Oh, awesome. Okay, good. That's wonderful. That's great. So when we start looking at model numbers, I don't want to give you model numbers on the air because then you're going to start writing them down and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, did she say a 600 or was that a 1200? You know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, Bert. Okay.
Okay.
And then our lovely Amber is screening calls today. And then she's going to go ahead and just give you the three model numbers that I recommend from APC and CyberPower. And just look at the ones that are in your price range. And then I have a little write-up on each of one that we recommend also over the website. And some of these also have a USB charging port, which I think is pretty awesome too. So you can still charge your phone and your other stuff if you need to at the same time. And Bert, once again, thank you for your call. Hey, if you're looking for any of the picks that I just mentioned, you can find them over on the website in the shopping section. That's Komando.com, and there's a big old shopping button right there on the homepage. All right, still to come. You shop online, but are you truly getting the lowest price? Or maybe the retailers are changing prices automatically like the stock market just based on your IP address. Yeah, I got to tell you, this is happening here on the Kim Komando Show. Think about things in real life. The pricier the neighborhood, the more expensive the grocery store, of course. But guess what? Some websites, they work the same way. Only 1 in 3 Americans know that online shops use your device's location to raise and lower prices right on their products. It's a big number. That's only 1 in 3. So depending upon where you live, you could get the short end of the stick with deals. But there are ways around this. Number one, you want to use a VPN, and then you can change your virtual location to one you think might get lower prices on products. And then you buy from there, but of course you're going to ship to your same home address. So the VPN that I use and I recommend is the show pick is ExpressVPN. Why? Because they don't track what you do online and they don't slow you down. You can get a deal 3 months free over at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. Okay, next up, you're going to compare prices online. That's where sites like PriceGrabber and Google Shopping, they look at cost of items all over the web, and so you can see where the cheapest one is. Number 3, you can track prices on just the product that you want. So if you have Chrome, Keepa is a really powerful extension. That's Keep and the letter A. And you can also keep tabs on price history charts on what you want to buy on Amazon. Or you can use the site Camel. And by the way, if you're buying stuff on Amazon, you're wondering if those reviews are correct and they're legit, just use fakespot.com. Once again, that's fakespot.com. And you can always find me 24/7 at Komando.com.